What up, guys? Man, we're here to break down this last night's UFC Orlando card, man. What an awesome card from top to bottom. I don't know about you guys, but man, it's to me personally, this felt like a pay per view to me, man. Like we said on the prediction pod, a great card from top to bottom. Good names, really evenly matched fights up and down the card. Fans friendly fights all night long. To me, you couldn't ask for better. Uh, what you thought about it, Zach?
Honestly, bro, I just been trying to stay low, you know what I'm saying? I know me and you got warrants because we got away with robbery, you know what I'm saying? And we can't show our face too much, but we got everybody free money, you know what I'm saying? Firefight card. Our parlays hit. We both finished with good records. I think we only got four wrong each, 9-4 or 10-4. So
Yep.
like very good night. And ultimately we got paid, we got y'all paid, and that's what we're trying to do with y'all.
Yeah, man. And before we get into it, if you follow us on Facebook page, follow us on Facebook at Bet On It MMA. Follow us on Instagram at Bet On It MMA. To stay up to date with the pods, stay up to date with whatever we got going on. Um, we'll break news on there and anything we got going on. We'll drop our links in the bios to previous pods, and you can go back and watch those. But with that being said, if you follow our Facebook page, as soon as the parlay hits, like we said, stop sleeping on us, man. We've been
2 weeks in a
doing
row.
the homework, doing doing the homework, doing all the dirty work for you to get you paid. 2 weeks in a row, like Zach said, 2 weeks in a row. We not only hit on our parlay, but both parlays, whatever you put down, we doubled your money for free, for absolutely free,
All you
no
gotta
charge
do
to
is
you.
subscribe. That's all you got.
Yes,
That's all we ask.
subscribe up to the channel, like the social media pages. And Zach, you wanna put our personal pages out
You
or
talking
what,
about
man?
you talking about your OnlyFans?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm working on that. See, I'm kind of shy, so I just thought about doing the feet pics for now, and then I might reveal some more of my body in the summertime, maybe in a speedo. But but yeah, man. Um, hell, y'all can even follow our personal pages, man. My Instagram, my personal Instagram, rollout underscore 16, rollout all together underscore 16. That's another way to stay up to date, and we'll put all the links there as well. So like we said, all you got to do is follow us. Let us do all the dirty work, and we'll get you paid, man. We
Yes,
do all the
sir.
dirty work for you.
Yes, sir. Jumping right into the first fight. These two girls did not waste any time getting right into it. I actually had a dream about this fight that the other girl would win, Estella, but we both knew that Yasmin would come out on top. Crazy start, but Yasmin just, overall showed that she's that girl. Thoughts about this
Yeah,
one?
man. Yeah, man. What a way to kick off the card. That was a little banger, man. Both girls came to fight like we shared in the prediction pod. This is gonna be a fan friendly fight, man. And boy, did it ever live up to the hype? You said you had a dream about the fight that Estella Nunez was gonna pull off the victory, and man, for a while I thought your dream was gonna come true, man. Um, I was nervous in the first round. Nunez came out sticking and moving. Was countering Yasmin coming in. You know, looking crisp. Great footwork. Like I said, hitting her with counter shots left and right. Um, but 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 uh but Yasmin did what good fighters do. She weathered the storm. She did lose the first round, but she weathered the storm, got back to the stool, made adjustments, came out, started letting letting uh letting Nunez come to her and started just picking her off, man. And ultimately she she landed some good shots on her and finished it with ground and pound, man. And that's what good fighters win fights, great fighters overcome adversity to win fights. And that's what Yasmin did last night, man. Her stock definitely rose last night. Really solid test for Yasmin, and she passed it, man. Like I said, to deal with that adversity, to clearly lose round one, she got hurt a couple of times. Not really bad, but some shots caught her attention, and she powered through them, man, and ultimately got a very impressive stoppage victory in round number 2.
Yes, sir. And if you listen to the podcast, we mentioned that she would be the more well-rounded fighter, and that's literally exactly what happened. So,
Yep. Yep.
before we move on, do you see Yasmin? She's what, 10-0 now?
Yeah, 10-0.
Do you see her as a player at 115? You see her being ranked?
Man, I think um I give her one more fight before putting in the ranking. But from a big picture point of view, do I think she'll be ranked? Absolutely, absolutely, man.
Do you think
I
she
would like.
like a Demopolis? You think she could beat her?
Oh yeah, yes. Now look, Demopolis would be a good test for her. Demopolis been around the block, with a bunch of big names. Been in there with the who's who in the division.
Mm-hmm.
But Demopolis is kind of one of those inconsistent fighters, man. She'll look great in one fight and then she'll drop one.
Yeah.
She's kind of a hit or miss. And I think that would be a great step up for Yasmin. And if I had to pick a fighter in that potential matchup now, I would go with Yasmin, man. It's not because of just last night. It's her what I've seen through her whole body, and we're breaking down film. And then last night really spoke to me as, like I said, she faced adversity. She overcame that adversity, and she shined. She shined in the heat of the moment. She shined, and she showed up in a big way last night.
So first pick, first leg of the parlay, we got that one pretty spot on. Second fight, our second leg of the parlay, Francis Marshall making his debut against Marcelo Rojo. Marshall, like, I want to see him fight every weekend. This guy is super exciting. Tell us why. You know what I'm saying?
Man, like we said, man, this guy is so fun to watch. And look again, and the predictions pod, I said this was going to be a lock. I said Francis was gonna stop, um, was gonna get the stop of victory, but I called him by submission. I thought he was gonna get a submission victory. However, I said do not sleep on Francis Marshall's hands, man. His hands are very underrated because people are just so quick to look at his wrestling. Rightfully so, don't get me wrong. The cat can wrestle. He's proven that's his bread and butter. He's very good at wrestling. But man, this guy is very explosive. He's a great athlete. Um, he's a great athlete, very explosive, and got some sneaky power in his hands, man. And dude, it showed last night. Um, Really, the fight played out like I thought it would. I figured he would face a little bit of adversity in the beginning of the fight, being that um he was fighting a guy with a couple Rojo, a guy in Rojo who's very tough, durable guy who already had two UFC fights under his belt. Um, I figured Rojo would have some early moments of success, some early flashes of success, and he did. But he landed some good kicks, good combinations, good leg kicks. Um, for that range pretty well. But when it was time for Marshall to turn it up, man, he did. Um, he mixed it. I said this in a pod too. He he used his strike to set up some nice takedowns. Um, he showed that he's well rounded. Well, long story short, he showed that he's well rounded, and um, they were in tight, in the pocket. He had Rojo against the cage, man, and he landed a blistering combination that put Rojo's lights out, man. That was a vicious knockout by Francis Marshall. And like you said, I cannot wait to see a lot more of this kid. If somebody, hey, if you get somebody falling out this week, fly Francis out for the pay-per-view card. I know you really can't do that, but man, I would love to see him fight very soon in a couple months, early next year, maybe February. Get this man right back in the mix. because man, he's so fun to watch.
Hey, Francis Marshall is that boy. Francis Marshall versus Francis Ngannou.
No, uh, we'll pass on that fight for
All
now.
right.
But
I mean, just like the last fight was on our parlay. We both picked him to win. A lock. Moving on to the third fight. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Before we get on to the third fight, shout out to Brian Ortega.
shout out to Brian Ortega.
Yeah, shout out to Brian Ortega. Tracy Cortez was supposed to fight on this fight card. I don't know if I read this wrong or not. But Tracy Cortez is pregnant.
Oh wow,
So shout out to that boy Ortega.
wow. Okay, see, you broke news to me. I had no idea. That's why I was kind of stunned. But yeah,
No,
they'll probably make
unless
a
I
little.
read the wrong thing. Let me check the Carfax. But if that is true, he did a good one.
Yeah, shout out to him. But he might he might have done that to try to get a sponsor, man. Maybe to get sponsored by Trojan or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Trojan is a who knows.
yeah. I mean that. Yeah, that's what you know. What I'm saying Twitter's saying, but nobody came out with anything like officially. But
Well, well, okay. Next question before we move on to the next fight. Okay, so we're talking about Little Ortega now. Okay,
how's
over under 3 years. How long will it take the baby to get on the mat, man? Over or under 3 years.
and that baby about to be on board to the umbilical cord.
Hey, I like that. I'm thinking the same thing, man. I see him making a little phenom.
All right, on to the next fight because we got bragging rights on a couple of these fights. You feel me? Natan
Mm-hmm.
Levy, decision win over Gennaro Valdez, and what I thought was, I felt like Natan won every round, but my boy Valdez was in there. Am I
Oh
wrong?
yeah. No, Valdez is tough. He's a durable kid, but um, like we said, man, the kid gets kind of wild, and he's a fan friendly fighter. He's never in a boring fight, but he had his moments, but Levy just what really surprised me is that, and yeah, Levy got a really good kickboxing background. He's got a solid kickboxing base, but I wasn't expecting him to outstrike um Valdez that early in the fight, man. And he was able to do that. Now, did I think that Valdez was gonna completely outclass him on the feet? No, I didn't. But he really set the tone early, man. And to me anyway, in the first round was outstriking Valdez, and when he got tired in round number two, he was able to get his hands on Valdez. When Valdez would get something going, he fought smart. When Valdez got something going, he closed the distance, got his hands on Valdez, got to the ground, mixed in some really explosive takedowns and that really was the telltale of the fight, man. Um, every time Valdez really got something going, he was able to close the distance and get it to the ground.
Yeah, Levy showed a well-rounded skill set, and his previous fight when it got tough, he was put in some tough spots, kind of showed the same thing. So I think Levy's the guy who's getting better. Welterweight is a division you gotta keep improving. These guys, that's one of the more stacked divisions. So excited to see him keep moving up the ranks. Next fight, Jonathan Pierce, Darren Elkins. We both kind of figured this would happen, but we literally seen a transformation in Darren Elkins' face from round one to 30 seconds into round one. And that pretty much
Yeah,
like
yeah, man. The only thing that didn't happen that I thought was gonna happen was Pierce getting a late stoppage.
yeah.
He didn't get that uh uh you know but he controlled the fight from bell to bell, you know, from from the first moment on to the end. You know, he just dominated in every aspect, man. Shout out to Elkins. Uh, he showed he's tough, durable. He's tough as hell. He's never gonna back down. With that being said, sometimes you gotta get. Sometimes, and you know this, Zach. You're a trainer. Sometimes your athletes gotta get saved from themselves. I'd have liked to see Elkins corner step in and stop the fight. You don't see that much in MMA, but sometimes, man, when your guy's getting the hell beat out of him,
I mean, he didn't have any chance in that fight.
yeah. And
Not a
let me
puncher's
ask,
chance, not a wrestler's
no,
chance. Like at that point,
not
it's
at all.
you know, let's save it for the next fight. Another fight, parlay hit. Both agreed on it.
Let me ask you this before we move on. If you're in his corner, you stop that fight or you let it go?
Man, if I was in his corner, I wouldn't have took that fight.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I
yeah,
agree.
no, I definitely ran. At the end of round two, if you don't show me anything in the first 30 seconds to a minute, I mean, we kind of see what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
Uh, one fight that, went the opposite of way what we thought was gonna happen. Michael Johnson, Mark Diakese. Michael Johnson kind of showed there's levels to this stuff. He showed, he's fought way better competition. His IQ is way much better than Mark Diakese. And he just showed that his wrestling, I think, I know for sure I slept on it. I thought Diakese would kind of be able to get it to the ground, but it was
Me
zero chance
too.
of that happening. The first round, I think I texted you. I was like, if Mark Diakese keeps wrestling, he's gonna tire out because he's throwing these spin kicks. He's doing a lot of explosive movement, and he's not putting his punches together. He's landing like one shot at a time, and I was like, Johnson took off the first round and just cruise controlled second and third, and just outworked the guy.
Yeah, man. Really, like we both got that one wrong. Like you said, I thought the same thing. I thought the Casey was gonna be able to get to the ground. He had no chance. Like those shots that he had weren't even close. I mean, look, now your brother thinks that I'm a wrestling coach, and I'm not a wrestling coach. My Olympic trial days are over with. With that being said, uh, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a wrestling expert, but but man, it looked like when the Casey was shooting for those takedowns, it looked like he was kind of stop his shot,
Yeah.
and not
Well, the two
and
guys he fought before then were strikers. So like what he did was working against them. But when you fighting a guy like Johnson, I think Johnson wrestled in like JUCO or something like that, junior college. And he don't have to worry about offensive wrestling. He got his game plan, land a knockout punch or pressure against the cage and stuff to takedowns. And like Diakese, hasn't tried that type of wrestling with a wrestler. And I think that completely threw him off his game.
yeah, man. But from a coach's perspective, did it look like he was stopping his shots? Did it look like
He was
he wasn't
stopping his
fully committing
shots.
to those shots?
He was
Yeah.
stopping them shots because Johnson, his hips, Johnson was doing everything that you're supposed to do to defend the
Oh,
takedown.
absolutely, absolutely. He definitely was.
That's
Um,
that's why he was stopping dead in his tracks.
but I want to say one more thing before we move on. The real thing that surprised me is after the fight. One judge gave the fight. Didn't they give what? Didn't one judge give the fight to the Casey?
No, that's the Clay Guida fight.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I think one judge might have had a 30-27 for NJ. Something was off, but
Yeah,
anyway,
the 30-27 for Johnson. I thought Diakese won the first round.
yeah. Okay.
But talking about Clay Guida, man, our guy, pulled through. Talking about a weird decision, I thought Clay clearly won the fight. And I guess one judge was scoring coming forward, or I don't even know how you score that fight for Scott Holtzman. But Clay Guida, we both picked him. And the good thing about this pick is he was an underdog. An underdog pick that we got right. And we have another underdog pick that we got right too. But not just our parlay hitting, our underdog. So, like I said, all you got to do is subscribe. We're going to get you right. We're going to get you right. But with that being
Yeah,
said,
man.
thoughts about Clay Guida?
The dogs were barking last night in Orlando, man. The dogs were barking. They were out in full force. Clay Guida, all I can say, man. Clay Guida did what Clay Guida does. Yeah, constant pressure, uh, in your face, mixing the takedowns, your relentless pressure, getting into the ground, controlling from there, don't let you breathe, and he grinded out a decision. I mean, what more is there to say of that fight? Like you brought up in the intro to this one, um, whoever scored that fight for Scott Holtzman, I mean, that's bad.
I think they
Uh,
bet on that fight. I think they
yeah,
watched our channel and they're like, nah, we're going to prove them wrong.
yeah,
We got
yeah,
some
man.
haters. But what surprised me the most is Clay Guida striking. He was able to like get some strikes off, especially hooks. But there
Hmm.
was a couple times where I did get nervous when Clay Guida was on the cage, getting leaning in the shots.
Yeah,
But
and I was, and I
it
was,
helped.
I was,
It
I was
helped
screaming at
with
my TV.
Holtzman
Go,
being
go ahead.
it helped with Holtzman being 39 years old.
Yeah, man. I was screaming at my TV when Rita was against the cage, man. Shoot for that, cause man, he started wanting to exchange with it. I'm like, no, no, don't.
Yeah,
Like, stick to your bread and butter, stick to your game plan, and you're gonna win. But hey,
Jesus
he scared us
Christ,
for a
like
little bit.
Holtzman was way bigger than him.
Yeah, man. Yep.
All right. So moving on to the next fight, Angela Hill versus Emily Dakota. I tried to tell you about Angela, man. A lot of people sleep on Angela. The main thing, if people don't know about Angela and they watch UFC fights, Amanda Lemos, the girl who fought a couple weeks back, absolutely destroyed Mariana Rodriguez. Angela Hill had a split decision fight with her. Right? Angela Hill has so many goddamn fights in the UFC, it doesn't make no sense. She's like the ultimate gatekeeper. And I think right now the UFC got to quit feeding her up and comers because they're just gonna derail their hype. And I think you feed up and comers the fights they need, and give Angela Hill some top 10 fights, some top girls because she can hang in there. What you thought about
Yeah,
the fight?
man.
I know you like this fight.
Yeah. But and you know what's crazy? Like really though, all jokes aside about this one, cause you were right, man. Dakota got her ears kickboxed off. I mean, and Muay Thai off. It wasn't even close. You know, Angela Hill's Muay Thai was on full display. She looked so sharp, so crisp. Uh, but my see, I like Angela Hill. I do. I've been watching Angela Hill for a long time. It's not like I was unfamiliar with Angela Hill. I just thought that Dakota was gonna be able to get her hands on her and mix in some wrestling, which clearly she couldn't. You know, uh, Angela used her reach, picked her apart from bell to bell. This fight was never close. Um, but it didn't surprise me because I knew that Angela Hill could strike. I'm an Angela Hill fan, but what I try to do is to give you guys my honest opinion. And then I gotta admit I was dead wrong on that one, man. And props to Angela Hill because she showed that she still got a lot of gas left in the tank. And who knows, she might be able to make a run in the top 10 here soon.
All right. So my thing with this fight was second fight in the UFC. I think if Dakota had a couple more fights in the UFC, this would have been a lot closer fight. But it's like uh you give it, let's say we bringing it back to NFL. You let a team play all preseason and like 6 games of the regular season versus a team who hasn't even played yet. You know what I'm saying? The people who are in sync know all their routines, been there, done that. The team's gonna win, and that's just kind of how I felt about that. But I will say this: if Ducati had a couple more fights in the UFC, it might have been a little bit different of a fight.
Yeah. I think Dakota's got a bright future, but props to Angela Hill, man. Hey, she showed she ain't going nowhere. You know.
All right, next fight, I'm gonna pass the introduction mic to my boy Harley so he could talk a little bit of shit. Philip Rowe versus Nico Price, man. Tell us about that fight.
Bill Rowe. I told you, man. I had. Then I picked Phil to win by. How did I pick him to win? My decision.
I think stoppage.
So it was stoppage. Okay. Because I did. I knew Phil had a chance to stop Price. And anyway, um, a fan friendly fight, man. And this fight was fun from the get go. You know, props to both guys. They both came to fight, but man, I told you, don't sleep on Philip Rowe. Old Phil was hot. Old Phil was on a winning streak. Um, Nico has been out for what, a year, a little over a year,
Yeah, about a year.
something like that. Um, uh, Nico was doing his thing. You know, he made it ugly, but I had a feeling that he would get gas, and he did. But he hurt Philip Rowe. I was nervous for a while because he hurt old Phil, but still showed his grit. Because see, you thought this was, you thought that was how Nico was gonna win, but that's actually how Phil won. Phil
Facts.
said, "Hey Zach, I got some
Facts.
dog in me. I'm gonna prove you wrong." And look, man, he was in that thing. He was there. He was there to fight, man, and he weathered the storm. Nico, when they got back up to their feet, Nico was gassed, and he just turned it up, man, and got him out of there.
Absolutely.
Philip Rowe making a statement, man. Absolutely, don't sleep on Philip Rowe.
Hey,
Um,
after this fight, I'm a Philip Rowe fan. Uh, like you
I
said,
told you not to sleep on him, man.
yeah, and Nico ended up sleeping. So
Yeah,
I like the last podcast. I thought if it was an ugly fight, Nico would shine. Because like Philip maybe had 3 fights in UFC and fought mostly wrestlers and would just knock them out. I felt Nico was a different style, and god damn, he proved me wrong for sure.
man, man, Phil Rowe put a lot of people on notice last night, man. He did because, like you said, he never had to face that adversity like he did last night, man. And for a guy to go in the uncharted waters, a place that he hadn't been in before, to weather that big early, not say early storm, but to weather that big storm
Yo,
and to do what he did, man, that's a big statement win for him. And
big.
I'm looking forward to it because he's well rounded, man. The guy's got some damn good jiu-jitsu. I think he's what, a black belt, if I'm not
Oh yeah,
mistaken, man.
yes
So
sir.
he's got that in the bag too, and we know he got knockout power, so the guy can beat you multiple ways, man. I think he can cause a lot of problems in that division.
Absolutely, man. Moving on up the card, we got Eric Anders versus Kyle Daucus.
Give it to me
Eric,
on this one, guys.
Eric Anders pretty much gave it to Kyle Daucus raw. Didn't even take him out on a date, Tinder hookup profile. Like,
Yeah.
but kind of what I thought. Eric Anders is just a physical specimen. The man played for Alabama. We look at a guy like Greg Hardy who played in the NFL and just came into the UFC with a couple years of training. When it comes to UFC, we don't have these type of athletes. A lot of these athletes, right? When we do, it's special, man. It just so happens we got an Eric Anders who's a little bit older, but if we would have got a younger Eric Anders, I think he'd be doing a lot better in the UFC. But with that being said, Kyle Daucus, great fighter, super technical fighter. But when you fight an athlete like Eric Anders, you gotta have some type of threat, like knockout power or really good wrestling to kind of mess with him. And I kind of figured that Eric would stuff his stuff and just land some shots and eventually get him out of there.
Eric, man, shout out to Eric Anderson. I mean, he literally oblivious, you know. Um, he walked through him like he wasn't even there. Man, that's all I can say. Um, Dawkins pose no threat to him. And hey, props to him, man.
Yeah, man. I think Anders used to fight at 205 or has fought at 205, and I think Daucus could probably make 170 if he, you know what I'm saying. It's not the biggest 185er. Moving up on the card, another underdog that we picked, and he took the fight on short notice, so that just tells you, you know what I'm saying. We're good for it. Subscribe. What you waiting on? Roman DeLisa knocking out, well, not knocking out, TKO and Jacker Manson. I was actually teaching this move Thursday, the calf slicer from taking the back, and the man executed. When it comes to grappling at 185, I think he's one of the better guys. Not wrestling, I'm talking about jujitsu. Like, what you think?
Yeah, man. Roman DeLisa, everybody, and rightfully so. Everybody fell in love with the knockouts. Such a powerful guy, heavy-handed. Can put out anybody's life. But man, he showed last night that he's a lot more than just a powerhouse striker, man. The guy, I mean, the scrambles that he was able that he was able to win. Um, well, what round did the stoppage happen in? Is that
Second.
second round? Yeah, the lead say I think he lost the first round, didn't he?
Yeah, I had him down. Yeah,
Yeah,
he had some good moments, but he was kind of getting outstruck and then taken down.
yeah, man. So I had him losing the first round as well. So I mean, the second round didn't start off that good for him either. Um, the, he the, he got taken down, but he was able to create a scramble. Ended up in a calf slicer and finishing him. With ground and pound in the calf slicer. I mean,
And
dude, that was crazy, man.
this guy is, you know,
And
shout
before I forget this, for him to do that on short notice, that's insane.
right. Oh, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, there's some things that just doesn't translate to MMA. Sometimes there's too many steps in some moves, and MMA is that way more fast paced. But Roman DeLisa is able to pull off these moves because he's getting them so damn quick, and he's like 5 steps ahead of these guys. I don't think too many people realize like how good this guy is on the ground. A flower sweep. I've never seen a flower sweep done in the UFC. That's like a straight up jujitsu move, underhook the leg, get the armbar, and he swept Hermanson twice off of that. And Hermanson is known as being one of the better grapplers in the UFC. And then
Yeah, man.
if you look at the transition he did to get that calf slicer, he was on move here to here to here to here, threatening with a submission, moving on to a sweep, threatening with a submission, moving on to
Dude,
a sweep. Like the guy
he,
is very, very fucking good.
the guy had a freaking inverted triangle and
That's
it was close.
facts. And like you don't see, especially bigger guys, you don't see them being that good off their back. You see maybe Paul Craig and like who else? You feel me? This guy's
Yeah.
special. Give him a full camp and tune into our next video. I got a good matchup for him.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Before we move on, I was already a fan of Roman Delite, but last night Roman Delite can be a world champion.
That's bold, bro.
I, I think he can. I'm telling you. I know he's in a tough division. I know he is. But the guy's got heavy hands, can knock out anybody. Don't you agree on that?
I don't know if he can
That's
knock out
power.
anybody, but I think he can out grapple some guys. I don't
That's
know
what I'm
about
saying.
boxing.
But what I'm saying is he's got great jiu-jitsu. He's got good power.
Yeah.
My point is he can win multiple ways. You know, um, to beat a guy like Jack Manson, win her Manson in the top 10.
Yep. I think he was like
He
7.
he took this fight on how short notice.
Uh,
Off the top of your head,
2 weeks.
2 weeks did that. And man, watch out for Roman Delite. I'm not saying he will, but he's a player, and who knows what can happen.
And we're gonna get more into that fight. I mean, this guy on the next episode. I feel like I got a good matchup for him, so we'll see. Stay tuned. All right, moving up the card, we got Tai Tuivasa getting absolutely, obliterated by Harley's boy Sergey Pavlich. In what could be, I think Sergey being a contender in the heavyweight division. I mean, I thought it'd be a little bit closer than that. What you thought?
Yeah, man. I mean, I had Ty losing by KO. I had him stopping Ty, but damn, I didn't see it like that. 40 seconds of just an onslaught, man. I mean, what more is there to say? There's not much to break down.
Yeah,
Bam Bam, Bam Bam got the Bam Bam put into him last night, and and I hate to sound like that because dude, I love Tai Tuivasa. Dude, he's a fan friendly fighter, heavy hands, fun to watch, great personality, good guy. Everything you want. You know. So again, I hated picking against him. But again, Zach, our job, our reason for doing it is to give the MMA community our honest opinions on each fight. And I couldn't pick I couldn't go with Ty in this fight, man.
right.
He was coming off I don't want to say a bad loss to Cyril Gahn because he had his moments, but a bad loss in damage is what I mean. He took a good bit of damage in the Cyril Gahn fight. Just got stopped against Gahn. I that just and I saw a video uh last night of Guru breaking down, and shout out to him, Guru, of him breaking down uh this fight, and like he said, man, look, I work with fighters. I'm working with fighters now. I've worked with them in the past. I'm not gonna sit there and say I've seen it all in the fight game because I haven't. With that being said, when you have a guy that's coming over a loss like that, took a lot of damage, got stopped for the first time in a long time, you don't put him in there against a monster like this, man. Now look, I'm not saying cherry pick, but give the man either some time off or give him somebody that he can ease his way back into. Don't you get what I'm trying to say, Zach?
Yeah,
It
Ty.
was too. It was.
When you get knocked out and you get an award, you gotta let your brain recover. You gotta let your chin recover. And
Yeah, man.
the chin doesn't really ever recover. Shout out to Conor McGregor. I think he said that one time. But I mean, the one thing that I didn't know about Sergi is what's gonna happen when he gets hit. And he got hit and it did not phase him. He just kept coming forward. So
No.
I don't know what he's made of. And another thing too, his main thing is like, in MMA right now, his main thing is knockout. But he does have a wrestling background, a Russian Sambo background, and like we never even seen that. It's never been that close for him to even break that out. So like we really don't
And
know like how high his ceiling is.
and that's what makes him so scary.
Yeah.
Because what if he starts to mix that in? Zach?
What if
You
he's
know?
better at that than he is at striking? That's the problem.
Yeah. And if that's the case, he'll be heavyweight champion in the world. Period.
Facts. Ain't
I think.
arguing with you on that one. All right.
Now,
What you got?
Willie B, I don't know. I mean, Francis is the man right now. So until
Right.
somebody derails Francis, we'll see. But hey, if he's that legit with his wrestling, hey, we might have a new champ on our hands here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing things, running through people.
Yeah,
Next fight that we kind of predicted, both kind of knew what would happen. If you pay any attention to MMA, you knew it happened to RDA beating Brian Barberena. I mean, kind of outclassed him.
yeah. Like we say all the time, bro. And look, we're not gonna get every pick right. There were some picks that I thought were gonna win on this card that didn't. There was
Right.
some things that you thought were gonna win that didn't.
But
You
the
know?
picks that me and you both agreed on all hit
Oh yeah,
except for Mark Diakase versus Michael Johnson.
yeah, exactly. And they didn't just hit; they hit in a big way. Like it wasn't even close.
Right.
You know? So, like you said, unless you just don't know MMA at all, or I mean, if you picked against RDA, shame on you because
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there's levels, and he RDA shine, man.
Facts, facts. Not much to say about that one. RDA did what he was supposed to. Barberine is a tough guy, but like you said, there's levels to it. Moving on to the main event in a very exciting fight. Shout out to both guys because like you don't see that very often. Two guys willing to have a mutual agreement that we're not going to the ground. We're just gonna stand and bang. And if I get you to the ground, I'm gonna let you back up and we just gonna slug it out.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, Wonder Boy for being 39, goddamn. He
yeah.
striking when it
And
comes to striking, he still got it.
and you know what's crazy? That might be the best striking he's had in a strike. That might be his best display of striking he showed in years, man.
For sure. It showed when he got a guy willing to just do a stand-up fight. It shows why he's like 50-0 as a kickboxer.
Wow. I mean, look, I understand they had a mutual agreement, and look, they did fun for the fans.
Yeah.
But like Holland's corner said,
Yeah.
making an MMA fight,
Yeah.
making an MMA fight. If he
Yeah.
gets to the ground, he wins. Would he have gotten to the ground? I don't know, but he didn't even try to.
Right. And like, Holland got a black belt. He probably could have, stayed on top and like, won some rounds, especially when your hands broke.
Yeah,
But
he was
Holland,
on top of him for one point, and he let him back up, and I'm like, dude.
right. Holland is just a guy, like, I grew up with plenty of these guys, bro. They just love fighting and talking shit. Like, and he's getting paid for it. You feel me? They're not about to cut him. People want to see this. Like, you know what I mean? He's not gonna fight the coach's fight. He's gonna do whatever he marches to the own beat of his drum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what makes Kevin Holland Kevin Holland. That's what he is.
Facts. And I'm every time he fights, I swear to God, I'm gonna watch. And like, shout out to his chin, cause damn, taking some
Yeah,
shots.
and I love that. I love to make you put your coach's hat on in these videos
Right.
because you coach guys, you're doing a hell of a job with it. And I'm not just saying that because we were partners. You know, I call a spade a spade. I've been around other guys. You do a hell of a job and what you do. With that being said, if you're in Kevin Holland's corner, are you begging him to get it to the ground?
Mm, if I'm in Kevin Holland's corner, you have to get this established before, months out before
Oh,
you
absolutely.
even get
Oh,
to this point
absolutely.
where, do you want to be a world champion or do you want to be a fan-friendly fighter? It's cool if you want to be a fan-friendly fighter, but if you want to be a world champion, you have to use some things that you're good at. And he's good at grappling, like jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt. When he
Yeah,
fought Chimaev, he did great countering the wrestling. And if he does, you gotta use this as a learning tool if you're Holland to look back on the fight and look at the fight for what it is. You broke your hand, you took a lot of damage. You're probably gonna be out for, I don't know, at the least 6 months. Maybe it could be a year. You're,
I'd say a year.
you're
I'd
gonna
say a
have to
year.
have surgery. So it's like at the end of it, friendly fight, yeah, you get paid, you get bonuses, but at the end of the day, longevity, is it worth it? And where are you at in the rankings now? Like what type of fighter are you gonna get coming back? You know what I mean? Is it worth it? Like if I'm a fighter or if I'm a coach, I don't owe these fans shit, bro. I don't know these guys. I don't fuck that. Like fight your fight, get in there,
Exactly.
get paid,
Hmm.
climb up the rankings, and that's what I'm getting established before I even
Yeah.
we even make that walk.
well, and I don't want. I'm not here to toot our own horns and our other, profession. But because this ain't why we do this show. But I'm gonna say this: what do we tell our fighters before they go into any fight? Follow the damn game plan, no matter what it is. Follow. You're the coach, I'm the manager. Don't get me wrong, but I implore that to them too. Follow the game plan. You have a game plan for a reason. You have a corner for a reason. You have a team for a reason. Let your team do their job. Follow the game plan. Trust the process.
You
You
can't
know?
you can't let anybody trick you out your position, like whether that's in a fight, in a life, like whether it's
Yeah,
yourself tricking yourself out of, your position. You gotta, what I'm saying, do what's right for you. Not for the
yeah.
fans, not for people you don't know. Like we appreciated it. I swear to God, I appreciated every second of it. But
Me too. Me too.
I'm probably never gonna meet this guy. Like, fight for yourself, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, a long story short for me, if Kevin Holland starts using his jiu-jitsu, he can be a legitimate player, and he can take it as far as he wants to go. But
And
if
like
he continues,
he's used it before. It's just like with this fight, it was like Wonder Boy's a striker. Let me strike with him. You know what I'm saying? Let me prove a
yeah,
point.
and Kevin's got good striking. But okay, I'll admit I picked Kevin to win. But you know what I said? Wonder Boy is the more technical striker. I
Right.
admitted it.
Right.
I admitted it. So you're getting pieced up on the feet. You're throwing these big looping shots. He's he's hitting you by going right down the pipe, throwing shit right down the pipe, not looping anything, and he's piecing you up, and you just oh well, come
Yeah.
on man.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
overall, fun fight. Probably candidate for fight of the year. We had a lot of good fights this year, but I'd say that's top five at least.
Don't
Um,
beat Poirier and Chandler, but yeah, that was a hell of a fight.
top five at least. And
Yes,
overall,
sir.
a good fight night card. If you roll with us in this fight card, you got paid, you doubled up your money. And like I said, it's free, man. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button. That's it. We got you every week, every fight. Got you. We're doing the work, so you ain't gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Easy.
Yes, indeed.
Any anything else you gotta say before we close it out, man?
Nope. We already getting to work on UFC 282, so tune in later this week, and we'll have another pod for you. See you
And
then.
before we close it out, these last couple cards was hard. This next card is gonna be way easier. So we about to get y'all paid.
Yes, indeed.